Wear OS is reborn, or just yet another reason why Apple Watch rocks? Google's new wearable comes with the latest Snapdragon CPU and promises a lot, but does it really deliver? Let's inspect. So yeah, this video is about all of you who want to see the progress that Google has made with their popular Pixel Watch line, and that's obviously the Pixel Watch 2. And I guess from distance of time now, looking back in 2022, the Pixel Watch 1 seems to be a well-executed experiment. And I want to now thoroughly review this new successor from the standpoint of someone who really enjoys having wearables and using them for various purposes, such as 24/7 health tracking, sometimes sports tracking, sleep tracking, daily activities and tasks, even sometimes fun. And yes, obviously the point of this video is to expose all the strong and weak sides of the Google Pixel Watch 2. I guess the price belongs to the drawbacks because it's steep. Years ago, $350 was the psychological maximum I was ready to give away for a smartphone, and now it's the starting price of the second generation of this watch. For $50 on top, you can get the LTE version supporting an eSIM. TicWatch Pro 5, Galaxy Watch 6 series and Xiaomi Watch 2 Pro are the direct competitors, and only Samsung would dare to ask for more for their Pro model, but I think the balance over there is a bit more acceptable. Undeniably, the feeling you're going to get during unboxing is remarkable. A fun fact, the volume of Watch 2 box is greater than the volume of the Pixel 8 Pro box. Perhaps Google do have a good explanation about that. It's a lovely presentation, as if you're being rewarded with something really nice. Only the watch, the charger and a strap with a greater length are included, plus the papers, of course. Same concept to last year's straps. This is good news. Generally, the design is quite similar, all glass top, mostly metal backside, one button at the top, plus the multifunctional crown at the same time. Aesthetically, I think this is the best looking smartwatch ever, especially if you look for elegance. And please don't get the wrong impression that this video is about praising the Pixel Watch 2 only, because it ain't. Technical specs are definitely not an area to complain about. 1.2-inch display with 1000 nits peak brightness, a Snapdragon 5100 SoC, 2GB of RAM, 32GB of storage, a speaker, a microphone, Bluetooth 5.0, Wi-Fi, GNSS positioning implementation, eSIM as an option, a 306 mAh battery, and arrives with Wear OS 4.0 out of the box. The display seems to be the same as what we have with Pixel Watch 1, without the ghost issue though, but same peak brightness, the same size and specifications. And it's not as bright as the maximum brightness that Galaxy Watch 6 series are providing. The other components are also kind of similar. The battery has similar capacity, this time a bit quicker charging though. The system on a chip is the same as what other Wear OS vendors are deploying now in 2023, with exception for Samsung, who have their homegrown system on a chip. It is inferior, but they kind of compensate with software optimizations. Now, in terms of design, I think the biggest flaw is the most beautiful component over here, being this curved glass around the display, which is protected by Gorilla Glass 5, but makes everything really exposed, meaning that if you happen to drop the watch on the ground, 99% of the situations it's going to fall on its display, because science. And this is certainly going to convert into either having cracks or at least some scratches, which probably in just a few months' time, if you heavily use it in such kind of circumstances, is going to make the display look kind of bad. Meaning that I wouldn't wear this body in too dynamic environments or situations where you practice sports outdoors and you're expected to be very often in touch with the ground, like e-biking and similar. In terms of software experience, I really have a lot of things to say. Probably I should stay away from the topic for the initial setup, because it kind of took me 6, but not minutes, it took me 6 hours. 6 freaking hours! For the record, if you also are getting this weird behavior during the first time setup or meaningless error messages, just try to reset, go to the settings and adjust the time and date manually. I found this solution on Reddit after like 10 attempts, and combined with a software update, recharging and other annoying aspects, it did consume about 6 hours in total. Calling it a rough start is an understatement, I guess. Luckily, the smoothness of the UI and the system navigation felt like home. I mean, you get the nice feeling of stock Android. Responsive, well grouped, the top button is configured to open the recently used items, and it's not that convenient. The crown can act as a home button and app launcher, plus has the ability to easily scroll. There is no sign of the ugly, based Apple-like grid launcher. All the cards are stylish, almost a piece of art. Not that many customization as what other watches would provide. I mean, the settings are somewhat plain, probably in line with the Google Pixel phones. But everything makes perfect sense. It is well grouped and unlike the first-time setup wizard, worked flawlessly. I've intentionally reduced the animation speed as well. This is why most of the recorded scenes look snappier. It saves battery life on top. If you tap and hold on the home screen, you're gonna access the watch faces. There are so many good of them. Besides the inbuilt originals, which are fully functional for free, you can add a lot of third-party alternatives. Unfortunately, the best among these are either paid or freemium. Some well worth the price, though. And you can get some pretty awesome deals if you regularly scan the Pixel Watch or Wear OS subreddits. Concerning the apps, zero amount of bloatware, and Google used most of Fitbit's ecosystem for health tracking. I'm happy with the heart rate accuracy. It is not as accurate as a chest-mounted HR tracker, but definitely among the good ones for watches. You can measure SpO2, stress levels, you can track sleep cycles, and yes, naps are also counted. I wish I could show you more details about ECG, but not yet enabled for my country. If you plan to use Pixel Watch 2 for sports, then yeah, it can do fine. Outdoor activities are tracked with GPS, and since Google reused most of Fitbit's ecosystem, sports tracking is accurate and full of details. The battery life limitations apply, though almost no matter what, I had to recharge each and every day. And despite the fact it tops up to 80% of the battery capacity within just 45 minutes, this is far from ideal for a watch which is a proprietary charger dependent and lasts about a day, day and a half, if you're lucky. 2 days without always on display and battery saving mode if you're really lucky. The good news is that Google have most of their smartphone-related software right. Google Assistant is here, works flawlessly, and if you use Google Phone, the integration with the camera is insanely good and is capable of waking the phone up. Works better than Samsung's watch alternative. These are, by the way, side notes, because I want us to focus on the watch app first. Basic, polished, perhaps a bit too simple. I was expecting to see somewhat more features. If you care about health tracking and sports analysis, then you need to switch to the Fitbit app. And here comes the part I don't really like. We're being asked to use a second app for the track data, in a matter of fact, even a third one in case you want to track ECG, kind of the Samsung style. I prefer software to be simple and intuitive and not fragmented, nor paid, because Fitbit Premium is subscription-based already, and using a Wear OS device, you're anyway very trapped and forced to go for paying for certain services, apps or extras, so keep this in mind. Sometimes, the simpler, the better. Good news is that, together with the watch, you're going to receive a 6-month Fitbit Premium subscription for free. And after these 6 months, you probably won't miss the premium features that much if you decide to not subscribe any further. Other than that, sure, the cards are detailed, beautiful, full of information. Pixel Watch 2 doesn't disappoint in any of these areas. And most important, it is consistent and predictable, and I felt very comfortable with the watch during the whole time. In the long run, you can expect timely updates and enhancements as well. If you're here because you want to see my famous list with the drawbacks, I'd definitely note down the scratchable screen, the poor battery life, the lack of wireless charging, the smartphone apps fragmentation, the hard-to-forgive first-time setup issues, and of course, the steep price. But you know what? If you're a Google Pixel phone user or any other Android smartphone user and you're looking for a truly smart Wear OS capable device, this probably is the most logical choice of a smartwatch from 2023. And no, it is in no way perfect. In my opinion, all these little glitches that we have experienced throughout the review are the actual reason why Apple, with their very polished ecosystem and Apple Watch, are so successful. And here, yes, things are definitely going to improve over time because Google is going to get a lot more experience with this system on a chip, and this is the smartwatch which probably would get the best software support all the time, expecting some feature drops and further enhancements, so I'm really looking forward to all of that. But in case you're wondering whether you should upgrade, if you have a device which is older than 2 years, maybe yes, this would feel like a reasonable upgrade. If you have Google Pixel Watch 1, I'm not really sure, unless you're looking for the newer system on a chip, which yes brings kind of better performance, but it's not that notable all the time. And yes, this has been my review of the Google Pixel Watch 2. I actually liked it. Did you? You can comment down below. In a matter of fact, you probably know my opinion. I really look forward to coming back to something which has battery life measured in weeks, not in hours, so probably going back to the Amazfit Cheetah now. And maybe you can come back for more here on the channel in just a few days' time when I'm going to publish some more cool tech inspections. I'm the TechMishka, wish you a fantastic day, stay safe, and I guess I'll see you soon. Bye!